Whoa, what range of symptoms haven't I had? I've had an egg underneath my foot, I've had pins and needles, I've had a wobbly leg, I've had a dodgy ankle, I've had numbness all down my legs, spastic on my calf and on my thigh, I've had a band around my stomach and a band around my chest, I've had chronic pain in my shoulder, I've had vertigo, which was rubbish by the way, and I've had numbness, I've had optic neuritis, I've had funny speech thing, I couldn't swallow properly for a while, always needing a pee. I've had loads of symptoms, but luckily, you know, not all at the same time, because that would be rubbish.
My first symptom I had was double vision in my left eye, and since then I've had quite a few things. I've had numbness in my legs, and weakness in my legs, like unable to walk at some periods. Or my walking's gone really funny. I've had weakness in my right arm and hand, so I've not been able to like grab things or like hold a cup of tea and things like that. Like not able to make a fist or spread my fingers out.
With the hands, the pins and needles, say, in my hands, I can't really write anymore. My handwriting is terrible now. So, like, worse than my dad's. And my dad has pretty bad handwriting.
I do have a lot of problems with sort of memory and concentration, and almost like a sort of brain fog feeling where I can find it difficult to sort of process my thoughts really. But also for me, I experience quite regularly bouts of depression, which can be very, very frustrating and difficult to manage.
My memory has gotten much worse since my diagnosis. I couldn't tell you what I did yesterday.
Neuros love me because I've had optic neuritis, sensory deprivation in both arms, legs at one time or another, bladder issues, cognitive problems. They love my eyes because they track at different speeds.
I don't know what the medical term for it is. I guess it's some kind of neurological pain, but it makes you feel like you've got a sunburnt arm, even though you didn't get a sunburn and you're not in any pain whatsoever. Your mind makes you think you can feel pain, which is not fun.
Extreme fatigue, depression, pins and needles all over, burning pains in my joints and sort of in at the core of my bones, weakness in my limbs.
The main MS symptom that I have that affects me on a day-to-day basis is probably my walking and the fact that I need to use crutches to walk about, or sometimes my wheelchair.
Urgency to pass urine, that's probably my worst. I have that all the time.
The MS symptoms that affect me pretty much on a day-to-day basis is the one that it began with, really, the pins and needles, the lack of feeling, because those are still there, they just have travelled around a bit more. So whereas it started just in my right arm, it's now in both arms, both legs and my feet. So it's making day-to-day life just a bit numb. And then there's the fatigue. Let's not forget about that. Ugh.
The main MS symptom that affects me day to day is definitely fatigue.
Well, that's got to be fatigue. Fatigue affects me every single day.
My day-to-day symptoms are like fatigue.
On a day-to-day basis, the symptoms that affect me most often are fatigue.
Some mornings it is a real struggle to get out of bed, and then once you get out of bed you just feel like every single part of your body weighs a ton, and just having to move is like a massive effort.
I've got to be wary of it, I've got to make sure I don't do too much, and if it comes and if it hits me and it whacks me on the head with its fatigue mallet, then I can't do anything more. Or well, I can get to a sofa, or I can get to a bed, or I can get to a sit down, and I have to just rest for quite a few minutes and see if I can recharge, but I don't fully recharge. So fatigue affects me every single day, so that's the worst one.
It is very common in people with MS.
And it is a difficult one to deal with, because I think sometimes people don't get it, especially like my teachers and stuff at college. They like, oh, why are you late? And I've just completely slept through 12 alarms or whatever. Sometimes I don't know if it's because I'm lazy or it's my fatigue, but I think it's the fatigue.